All right, we are live. We are recording.
Fantastic. What's up, Dapshot? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, so let's get started. So why this was postponed until 7 p.m. is because we were in the middle of fixing some bugs and errors. Um, this agency completely over-engineered something that didn't have to be done the way that they did. So I was not able to catch when I was going through the backend code that there was going to be a lot of errors. So I rewrote the whole thing, spent all day doing that, had to rewrite variables. There's an issue that will be fixed, especially for public release, but the agency decided to store private key variables for your private key that lets you make like a transaction in an extremely unsafe way. So for instance, let's say you left your phone on a table at a bar and it was open. So someone that's smart enough could pick it up and get your private key. They wouldn't even need, unlike anything else except the ability to put on a very specific app, or just to plug it into their laptop to look at global user default variables. So that was an issue, and it's something that won't be completely fixed until I put in the true import wallet aspect, which is completely encrypted. What we did do though was make it so no one could screen read it or like anything like that. We did make it a little bit more difficult. One of the testing issues that I ran into today, I don't know if it has to do with our Infura nodes or not. I'm going to run a test tonight with my own node to see if that fixes it. But there's an issue with gas estimations and the way that it's putting it onto the blockchain. I have never seen this before, like even with my own code, and there have been a bunch of AWS down reports previously that have affected Infura nodes. So I'm not sure if it's them or because like it's never happened before, and I've used my own node just fine and it's quick. So I'm gonna boot up my testnet nodes and my private blockchain nodes just to do like a full thing. But I was working on that for a while, and there there was this one glaring issue, and I'm like, why is this node not even working? Like it's throwing an error, like its creation failed, and I'm like, what is this? And I remembered it took like three of us, like two on the agency and me, to figure out an issue with how the Swift, the Web3 Swift calls and stores the node, and there's like a very specific chunk of the access endpoint that you have to use, and because they didn't pay for premium Slack, I couldn't go back in the messages to figure it out. So it took me a ridiculous amount of time just to get that to work, but it's fine now. But one of the issues is not all the time is it posting to the blockchain, which is very, very strange to me. So we're going to be running tests because we're not here to, like make you fail transactions or not even have them get posted. I'd rather them not get posted than them fail for a gas estimation error, especially with the way that gas is right now. So we're just continuing to test this to make sure that it's good to go for you guys. And as soon as it's done, it gets booted up to test flight, and everyone gets an email. So just sit tight, but we're here to make sure that this is going to be beneficial to you, which is all that we're here for. That being said, it's very close. It's just checking out to see if it's an Infura issue, which I'm kind of leaning towards it might be. Because what's weird is on my dashboard for my Infura access point, it's not even showing the calls that do go through and the transactions that do go through. That's very, very strange. Like it's showing that I have requests that went through, but the graph wouldn't show a single thing, which is just strange. So I'm wondering if it's on their end or not, and it just seemed a little bit slower. Their nodes are slower anyway. It's the same nodes that MetaMask uses, I believe, and a bunch of other people, and they are throttled. So I'm going to test it out on my own node that I have locally and on my private blockchain as well. And we're just waiting to hear back from dude who's an AWS dude who's going to help us get our personal AWS node endpoints set up, and that's what will be used for the app until we get our physical server racks up and going with the server company. Um, but it'll be quicker than using Infura because they throttle the heck out of them, and it's really annoying. So it's a bummer, but this is development. I mean, like something happens and you got to test more, and fix it. But we're extremely close to being able to have this. I'm gonna be up really late and up all day tomorrow to get it good to go. And so as long as all the tests with like my own nodes go well tonight, then it's an Infura thing, and we just got to get that WS endpoint up ASAP and just go with that. So it's just kind of figuring out what the deal is. I'm gonna hit up Infura, see if they've had any sort of issues, but it's just really strange that some of them wouldn't even get posted to the blockchain. And I guess a good thing to test would be to run my own Python code for my trading as well, for that, and see if it is truly an issue on that end or not. But yeah, so it's just making sure that you guys aren't going to get screwed on gas and stuff. And I mean, this is like alpha access, so there could be bugs on your end. There could be bugs on your phone. There could be a thing because your Wi-Fi is not good enough. Like we don't know yet, which is why we do big tests like this to make sure and see and get feedback and be like, okay, so we got to kind of stipulate that you have to have a good enough connection for this, or is there a way for us to get around that? Like it does, does that affect the speed? That's why we do all this to get that feedback, to get those results, because as much as we would like to be able to test every single phone in the world, it's just not a thing that we can do in real life effectively, because I don't have every phone that this will run on. It just doesn't exist. So yeah, so that's where we're at right now. For me, there's just going to be a constant stream of updates like tonight, tomorrow, just so you guys are like totally in the loop of like what's going on and how fast you're going to get this in your hands. So is what it is, but we're working for you and around the clock. Yeah, it's been a long few days fixing stuff from the other agency, but now all the code is our code. So once this is in your hands, then we're at a really nice point where we're just building out the additional features. Each quality of life thing gets put in, week in, week out, and it just makes for a smoother operation because we're not trying to refactor or fix someone else's code. That's been a big hurdle for us, and it's a bummer. Like looking back at at the agency, I'm not like putting it all on them. I mean, because like this is all pretty new tech for a lot of things, and what we're doing is not really done at all, especially with the frameworks that we're using for this. Um, so it's kind of experimental, which is good and bad. But they touted that they had all this experience making wallets and exchanges, and they obviously like either don't or they put the wrong people on the team to do it for us. I don't know, but it doesn't really make sense. So we had to fix it all. Super fun, but we did it. Now it's just making sure that is something like this just a weird fluke, or is there a way for us to catch it so that if it happens with you, it's something that can be sent to us and it won't affect you. It won't cost you anything, because that's kind of the biggest thing is we don't want you to use this product and lose money. Like that's anti everything because of an error. It's one thing if you make a bad trade, that's on you. but it shouldn't be an error in the code or an error with a node, et cetera, et cetera. So we just got to really dial in what's going on with that. And I mean, like I've been up since 5 a.m. Um, just working my buns off on this code to get this going, and then ran into this weird error. So I'm going to put it on my phone, see if it replicates on that, because it also could just be a sim error with Xcode, because Xcode has been a little buggy the past like 5 days or so. It's crashed a few times for weird stuff, so it might just be that as well. I don't know until I dive more and more and more into it and run these tests. So that's where we're at for getting the MVP in your hands. Close, very close, but there's stuff that's a safety concern um, for you guys, and which is what it is. Um, does anyone have any questions about that? Questions, concerns, clarifications? For those that just joined, we just talked about there were some testing errors involved with gas estimation and things not posting to the blockchain. It would be intermittent at best. So that needs to be addressed very quickly and correctly. No one? You're not even gonna say hi. You guys can say hi. Doesn't even have to be a question. Or if you're tired, it's fine too. Um, Terrapin,
What's up?
what's going on, boss?
Hey, Ryan.
How you doing? How you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm good. I got my teeth cleaned for like the first time in, I don't know, 5 years. Felt great.
Oh,
Oh, that's a
shit.
good feeling. That's a real good feeling.
This poor dental hygienist.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh yeah, it's a good feeling. Real good. Um, yeah. So I don't know. Have you been here for like a little bit, Ryan? I'm Ryan.
Yeah, I came in. I heard that you're having this gas error, and
Yeah.
that you want to double, triple, quadruple check everything. Go over it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of the big thing. Pretty freaking important. But yeah, it's just that's development, like it's why we test and test and test. Like for me, I was like, okay, cool, like I fixed all this other stuff and we're good to go, and then I was like, time for testing, and then I was just like, huh, that's not right. that's that's not right at all. And it's back tested against the the old version of it too. So like the old version is the one where I first encountered it, and just to trying to make sure that the errors with the like node creation could be caught. And then I found this, and I was like, this is really strange. So this happened within the past 3 hours, 3 hours or so. So just a lot of stuff to work on throughout the night. But the goal is to get this out as quick as we can to you guys. But it's got to be done right. But the sooner I can get this out, the sooner I can, you know, let you guys try it out, see how you feel, and then work on each feature that has to come next for quality of life. And that's a lot of the stuff too that we're really looking to have a lot of feedback from you guys. Like it's not just like, oh, they're designing this, that's cool, like whatever they do is what we get. Like no, 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 no. Like part of what works for having a community like this is that I'm designing things and putting out screenshots and being like, what do you guys think? Like, does this placement work for you? Does this help shed some light on how things work, et cetera, et cetera? Like, does it help you understand blockchain more? Does it, like, do you even want to understand like workings like that, like, so feedback is huge. And doing all of this testing, like I want to hear everything that you have to say about what you would like to be done for the design of this app, because it's really important, because I know what I want. but what I want may be completely different from what you guys want. So, definitely, try to communicate as much as possible about what it is that you're looking for out of your wallet, because it is your wallet. Um, the other thing too, on participation. So, the buy low calls, channels and stuff, it works really well when as many people as possible are working in it and finding contracts and learning about contract code. Um, like the more folks that are looking for stuff, the more opportunities that we all have potentially for plays. If only a couple people are looking for stuff and finding stuff, there's a lot of stuff that's getting missed because they like don't have the time, or they're only catching this here. There's tons of folks from different time zones that might catch stuff that like we might miss. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff. So the more that folks participate, the better off everyone is in the end. And there's still a lot of stuff that we can do as far as trying to help people learn to dissect contract code. So one of the things I'd like to get back is getting a Marsman back in here. He's just really busy with work, but that dude loves to just surf contract code, and he's pretty decent at it now too. And so like the more folks that we have that are well versed in that, the more we can teach, share, and help other folks with learning that, and it snowballs from there. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're all about, is trying to learn, trying to make the best use out of blockchain that we can for what we do. So if you can, spend some time, like once a day, just go surf token FOMO. And just look for some contracts that like, oh, this looks kind of cool, and post it up. Like maybe you catch one super early that like all of us miss, because there's stuff like some of the most legit projects are not like a stealth launch. Like they put up the contract like days ahead, and they only verify it like kind of closer to the time that they're going to launch it. So like there may be one that you find that has a really neat name, and you like look it up on socials, and you might be able to link the two. And if it's been up for like a day or so, that could be a really good play, but all the rest of us were asleep and missed it. So it's really important that we get as many folks on board with that as possible, because it really helps and it goes a long way. Does anyone have any questions now?
I guess I'll just add to that. I'm trying not to be repeat anything that you said, but something I noticed is that I get DMs asking about how to farm or which launches are happening, and just come into the calls group, or even in just the community lounge. Just if you're just going to ask a question about how to farm or something, it's not just me who knows. There's people in the community who taught me, so. Please come in and ask questions instead of just reaching out to me in the DMs, which is fine as well. But I'll usually just point you back into the calls group, or to the whichever channel kind of fits the content of the question. But yeah, I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, heck yeah. I'm ask all the questions in house. Like that goes back to to the whole idea of like the more people, like the more folks that can see the question, the more answers that you're going to get, and then it can spark a discussion, which can then snowball again into something even bigger. Like no one is here to hoard knowledge or hoard information, but it's not just like a um what's the right way to word this, um like sending a DM about a specific thing. Yeah, like, oh, I saw this this person, they seem to know a lot about this, and it happens a lot, and it's great. I do it to coders, to like Web3, developers and stuff. But there's also tons of stuff where I put it out in, like in the chat, and then we start to have like a whole convo about it, and then like other folks will chime in, and it just turns into this like amazing thing where you're like the person that knows a lot about stuff. They're like, I didn't even think about that, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. But it doesn't happen unless you like actually put it out there into the world, and it's really important, and we're here for that. That's huge to me. It's huge to the team to be able to help with that, in like a big way, and for it to be seen. Like there's no stupid question, there's no dumb one, just ask away. It's all good. Yeah, but basically this one's pretty short and sweet. It's mainly because like we encountered a sort of a bug that may not be on our end, and maybe on someone else's end, and maybe on our end. We need to test more to figure it out. So slight delay, but it's a good thing to find these before it goes out, because what's odd to me, and it's not funny to me, but it's just like a moment, is if I had done all my tests and it worked out fine for me, like, and then we put it out, and then this happened to you guys, that would be really bad. That would not be good at all. So I'm glad I caught it, instead of you catching it. There's bugs like, oh, the swap button didn't work for me this one time. Like, okay, cool. Like let's figure that out. Let's go through it and see what's up. This is not one of those kinds of errors that it shouldn't happen. It's just really strange. So, thanks for bearing with us. But yeah, we're almost at the finish line for that part for you guys, and then it's just constant updates all the time, and it gets a little bit not simpler for me as the sole dev, but it gets easier because I'm not trying to fix other people's code. So, um, Rich, do you have anything to add?
No, sounds like you got it all covered.
Alrighty then. Yeah, so we'll have this up for people to listen to when they wake up. Once again, I'm looking for more mods. We're kind of going for like the community helper vibe. So if you want to be someone that's up, especially like if you guys want Telegram back, that's what we need. Like we need those folks, and we need them all the time. That's the hardest part, is spreading it thin with socials and not having the folks to defeat all the FUD of just people that come into Telegram with not nothing better to do, than to just be mean, just for the sake of being mean, and it's draining. It's not fun. So we just need to be able to nip that stuff in the bud really quick, so no one has to deal with it. I'm really so, spread the word, figure it out, see what you want to do. If not, no big deal. We will figure it out. But on that note, I hope you guys all have a wonderful night, and I will probably hold a VC around midday tomorrow, just to talk to some folks and see where we're at and go from there. So yeah, enjoy your night, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll have a write up for this on this weekend, and it'll be good to go. Bye, guys.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Mike.
Thanks.